All right, guys. So I don't really have anything else to talk about today. So we're just gonna, we're little piggies. We're gonna go into our trobs and we're gonna get into some culture war slop because it is what it is. The culture war is just talking about the same thing over and 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 over again. Oh, woke. Oh, this is woke. Oh, this is not woke. Oh, this should be more woke. Oh, this isn't woke enough. Oh, this is too woke. But hey, I'm engaging in it, so I can't get too indignant now, can I? So I don't know. This lady is going to talk about unattractive video game characters. She's a woman, so we must we must bow down and listen. You know what I mean? So let's see what she has to say. Look, it's funny. She's a pretzel cigarette or something. That's a funny little bit.
So I know I'm really late to the party on this topic, and I need to issue a little warning for those clicking on this video. I tend to make both sides kind of angry with my opinions, or just little voices on both sides. So you've been
enlightened centrist here. Let's actually put this at 2x speed.
warned, but I want to make this video. So I'm late to the party. The full disclosure, when Spider-Man 2, Insomniac Spider-Man 2 came out, I was unable to play it. What was that, a year ago, 2 years ago now? There's just been too much going on. I haven't really had the time to focus on video games. But I've been trying to play it here and there, hither and thither, on my brother's console whenever I have time or whenever, honestly, I feel like it, which hasn't been a lot. I've been very disheartened by it compared to the first Insomniac Spider-Man game, which is one of my favorite video game experiences of all time. But we're not going to talk about all of that. What I want to talk about is the game design of something that I know...
I don't disagree. It's like, it just feels very like... Dude, somebody said this and I haven't been able to get it out of my head, but the Insomniac Spider-Man games, they feel too nice. Like everyone in New York is too nice. And when they realized that, I couldn't get that out of my head, that it just doesn't feel grimy enough. It doesn't feel mean enough to be New York. That's an aside. Even with that complaint, I still really love the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales. I just think that there definitely is an element of sameness to Spider-Man 2 where I don't know if it really did enough to differentiate it. Although, to be fair, I think that's probably fine. Like, if it's Spider-Man, like, you probably don't want to mess with the formula too much. My main problem is that they had a dual protagonist, but Miles felt like he was put way on the wayside. I feel like they just did not have, like, Miles' story was way too underbaked. And it's like, I almost would have rather them have just had this be a Peter Parker game, and maybe you play as Miles for for like a oh my god, for like a mission or two. Because that's the main thing. Like, I thought Peter's story was pretty decent. Still not as good as the first, but Miles's like storyline was like way a step down from Miles Morales, which I think is fantastic from a narrative perspective. So yeah, I thought that Spider-Man 2 definitely feels a bit underbaked as well. I'm actually kind of terrified at the idea of a Spider-Man 3 having potentially 3 protagonists, because I know they tried to introduce Silk in the after credit scene. Hopefully they just have like her own little side game and not like I just don't think they could balance 3 protagonists. I don't think that it's feasible. But we'll see.
Is it supposed to bother me? I know I'm not supposed to feel upset by it or have a reaction to it, really. I know this is something that I'm not supposed to be bothered by at all, and I tried not to be bothered by it, but for the longest time, as I knew this was a thing. But I continuously play the game, and it just started to bother me more and more and more again. The design for Mary Jane Watson in the game, and once again, I tried to not let it bother me at all throughout the...
Honestly, for me, it's not even that she's ugly, it's just that they changed it. It's like, because of the design for Peter also bothers me. It's like, why are we having to deal with recastings in a video game? Like, what are we... Why? It's so stupid.
The game, but just to give you a little reference about just how little of it I played in this time, I just got to the Coney Island part of the game where she's off with Peter and Harry.
She's all in there.
And the clothes she's wearing there and the way she looks during that entire scenes. And I think, no, 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 no. Now, I know what you're going to say. Jester Bell, do you want corn in video games? I don't know how often I can say the P word in this video without getting monetized, so we're going to call the P word corn. Jester Bell, do you want corn in video games? Do you want video games to become a gateway to corn? No, I am completely against softcore corn in video games or video games becoming a gateway.
I am all about. Listen, I don't know if I'm all about it because I don't personally engage with that stuff, but I don't really care. Like, I like more and more, I just come at this whole culture war thing with the perspective of I just want to let artists make art, man. Like, I don't know if somebody wants to make Stellar Blade, cool. I don't think that they should be shamed for doing so. I don't think that like games journalists should be writing articles about how, oh, this is bad because of sexy lady. I think that's kind of cringe. I don't think that you should go after the developers saying that it feels like it was something that was designed by somebody that's never touched a woman. That's just like weirdly personal. I remember that was a thing with Stellar Blade. It's like I don't have a problem with Stellar Blade, but I also don't inherently have a problem if you want to make a female character that isn't as attractive. Like, I don't care. Like, that's not like, it's fine. Like, I don't know. Like, again, like if it wasn't a redesign from the first game, I personally wouldn't care that much about the Mary Jane design, especially when you look at the narrative or like the purpose that she serves to the narrative, where she's not even like a model in this universe. She's not what was she, an opera singer in the Raimi movies? It's like she's just a journalist. So it's like I don't think she really needs to be super attractive. And it's always funny because people try to act like Insomniac has like an anti-attractive woman bias when like in the same game Black Cat is in there. And like Black Cat is like overtly sexualized. In fact, it makes Peter a better character because he has the resolve to deny Black Cat when he's working with MJ over there. That's true love. You know what I mean? That's true love. I think it makes Peter a better character. So I don't know. Like, it's like, that's kind of the approach that I come at. I'm like, listen, if you want to make softcore corn, go for it. I don't really care. But if you don't want to do that, I also don't really care. Just let artists make art, man. Now, the art is going to come at us in different ways, right? So, like, at the end of the day, like, yes, it kind of bugs me that they redesigned the character, but, like, I'm not going to turn it into some, like, culture war, like, oh, we need to boycott the game now because of that. Like, it's like, what? Like, why do we have to do all this?
Way to corn in any way, shape, or form. And that was the element of the video that I thought this is probably going to get some people upset with me about this video, even as I'm criticizing these game designs. So no, I'm not for corn in video game, and I'm aware of the argument in favor of these video game designs just looking like normal, regular women. Actually, they don't. And we're going to talk about all of that. And before you interrupt me again and are like, Jester Bell, you're a woman. Why do you care so much about what other women look like? Joke's on you. Women care more about other women's looks than men do. But you want to know what a normal, non-sexualized, non-objectified female character in a video game looks like? Mary Jane Watson from the first Spider-Man Insomniac game. That is a perfect design for the character, and it's not sexualized or objectified in the least. That is ridiculous. It did look like the character, though. Now, to get into this, let's talk about who Mary Jane Watson is supposed to be as a character. Mary Jane Watson was based off of actress Anne Margaret when she first appeared in the 60s, and the entire purpose of Mary Jane's character was back then she was a supermodel. She was an actress. That was back when Mary Jane used to be portrayed as a, really rambunctious personality and all of that. And the entire point was she stood out from everyone else. She was so attractive. Everyone was shocked. Peter Parker is going out with that girl. That was the purpose of Mary Jane Watson, and that made a dynamic between her and Peter. So that's who Mary Jane is supposed to be. And one of the arguments I've heard in favor of these video game characters is that not every woman has the same body type. No, not every woman has to be gorgeous. The problem is Mary Jane Watson was supposed to. That's the character. Like, the same thing can be true of male characters. Like,
I'm just so bored by this perspective. Like, it was how the thing was done in the other thing. So now in a completely separate adaptation that's like its own canon, its own universe, that it has to do the same thing because that's how they did it before. It's like, it's just like such a lame argument. I just don't consume art this way. I don't care to be like, well, in the 60s it was done this way, so it needs to be done this way now as well. It's like, why not let people take like stories and then do their own things with them? I feel like there was a time when people were more open to this kind of thing, right? Like, isn't like every classic Disney animated movie them taking classic stories and then completely changing it up? Like, isn't like the original Hunchback in Notre Dame or whatever like way darker? And then Disney decided to take it and do their own thing with it. Like, it's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Like, why can't Insomniac take Spider-Man and completely change Mary Jane's character if they have a different story that they want to tell? It's just like, I don't know. I just find this perspective to be really lame. But anyways.
Said that Channing Tatum was not the embodiment of Gambit, and I listed a lot of reasons, including he's not attractive enough right now to play the character, and people got mad at me for saying it. Jester Bell, you just need to be personally attracted to this character. No, it's about the expectations of what the source material says about the character. Like, once again, Mary Jane said to be a very, very attractive character from the source material. Gambit is said to be a character who has seduced countless women, who says that his secondary mutation is that he's irresistible to women, and I'm not convinced that Channing Tatum, pushing 50, in a plastic suit that makes him look fat.
I kind of agree in the sense that, like, when I saw Channing Tatum in Deadpool and Wolverine, he definitely didn't have the Gambit aura. Like, I definitely do think of Gambit from, like, X-Men 97 at this point when I think of Gambit, because the X-Men animated series is my only introduction to Gambit. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, listen, if they get around to making their X-Men and they change Gambit's character, I feel like that's fine. Now, hey, if they cast Channing Tatum and he tries to play the traditional Gambit, and it's just a miscasting, then that's a completely different situation. But overall, I do agree that Channing Tatum isn't the best casting for the X-Men 97 Gambit.
That is going to be able to achieve that.
I'm about to make a name.
That said, hire the hottest actor, you have to play Gambit. Anyway, seriously though, it's about partially the expectation of who the character is from the source material, but also it's just so much more than that. Let's go down with this design for Mary Jane Watson. You might look at it and say that this is a design of a woman without makeup, or that she hasn't done anything to her hair. Well, it's not just that. It's everything about the clothes that she wears in the games. Everything about how her hair is done, everything about how she is presented each time is done to intentionally make Mary Jane Watson look unattractive, not normal, unattractive. Let's compare how she's dressed in the first game. In the first game, remember, this is a character, she's not trying to be a supermodel like she was in the comics, but she's trying to be a star reporter, and she's also meant to be a character who can maybe get on the action a little bit in the game. And unlike other people, I'm fine with that. But we see her nice, crisp ponytail, nice flattering haircut. She wears makeup, little earrings, and also the clothes she wears, like a leather brown jacket, orange, dark brown, red, orange, all complementary colors. My mom would be thrilled. She's also wearing boots. They give her the little bit of an idea that maybe she's ready for action a bit in this scenario. So she fits the character that she is supposed to be in this game. But let's compare to how Mary Jane is presented in the new game. But she's not just portrayed as if she's just not wearing makeup now. She's given a square face, completely different facial structure. She doesn't do anything with her hair. It looks like she just maybe barely brushes it day to day. In the first game, she only had like one outfit that she wore, and it looked really nice. In this game, she wears like a frumpy gray sweater and flats. That was the look that took me out of it, when it Coney Island look, where she still looks like this. She's still wearing these frumpy clothes and all that stuff.
I will say there's like the beginning of the game where she's like in Peter's house, I think. Actually, I thought her outfit looked nice in there. I don't think she's always wearing frumpy clothes, to be fair, but I don't disagree with what she's saying here in regards to the Coney Island outfit.
When she's out with her friends, there's another design in the game where she's wearing like a yellowy jacket and a lavender shirt. It's like, compare the first game.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know.
All colors. It's very visually appealing on sight. This game, we got red, we got like this toy.
To be fair, I think as a man, I don't think we can tell a difference between these two outfits. Let's just be real. I don't think men can tell the difference here. It's like, I don't know. Looks fine. But, you know, man brain.
Toyota, orangish yellow, and we got lavender. What are they thinking with this game? Mary Jane looks a whole lot older than she did in the other game. Peter still looks like he's somewhere in his 20s. She looks like maybe she's pushing 38. But setting a lot of this aside, all the little details here. Like, if you're like, some people argue this is just
Peter looks younger. That's what I'm saying. Peter looks younger. What? Like, this guy looks like Andrew Garfield today. Although, to be fair, Andrew Garfield looks very good today. But still, he looks older than he does in the second game. It's like, why did they recast these video game roles? It's so weird. I don't understand it.
She looks like maybe she's pushing 38. But setting a lot of this aside, all the little details here. Like, if you're like, some people argue this is just a Mary Jane without makeup and all everything. Mary Jane in the game is portrayed as a character who is trying to get a star reporter job, who is in a relationship with someone, who is a woman living in New York in 2022, 2023, whatever year this game came out, and I don't even know anymore. But most women, the grand majority, wear makeup, earrings, stuff like that. Especially if you're trying to go for a star job, like, or you're in a relationship with someone. Like, Mary Jane's complaining about how she's not getting the job in this game. I'm like, well, maybe if you presented yourself a bit better, maybe you would get the job. Like, the entire argument is we're just portraying women as they would normally look. This is not how a woman in 2024 would normally look. Like, most girls wear makeup, and they like to wear makeup. And the entire argument is women, we can't have them. Women don't just wear makeup for men. In fact, most of the time women are wearing makeup for themselves, for each other, because women like to wear makeup, nice clothes, all of this stuff. Guess what?
This is a lie, okay? Listen, you're being brainwashed, okay? This is the cope, okay? You're wearing makeup for men. I know it, because we have a secret cabal where we secretly trick you and control you into wearing makeup. Okay, I'm exposing the truth.
Women who don't wear makeup usually look pretty great apart from that. So with Mary Jane and all these other the female video game characters I see, and they're trying to make the argument that they just look naturally what women look like when they're not wearing makeup. Women, when they don't wear makeup, look like men who haven't showered in 5 months.
Okay, well, to be fair, as far as like the Fable situation, first of all, like, let's just be real. I feel like, God, I feel like people, like, these like pictures go around where it's like, I feel like it's not even what the I'll just start a new Fable game. I don't want the old Fable game to show up. People like pick like the worst screenshots when I feel like in motion, I don't even think this character looks that ugly. I guess pull up the trailer, I guess. But like even in like other screenshots, she looks fine. Here, this isn't the most flattering one, but she's like not making a flattering face even. I don't know. But it's like also like Fable takes place in the medieval times. Like
Ready for game day?
I can see where she's coming
go
from
to
is
your
when it
left.
comes to the Mary Jane argument. Like yeah, Mary Jane probably would be wearing makeup, but this is like in medieval times. So it's like, would she even would this character be wearing makeup? Like she wouldn't be. Yeah, like I don't know, like in motion, like I don't even think this character's ugly. I feel like this character is actually pretty cute. Isn't she? I don't know. like that's the other part about this whole thing. Like people are talking about I know the new game is the Intergalactic game, the new Naughty Dog game. And I don't know, like I don't even think this character is ugly. Like obviously she shaved her head, which I don't know. I guess is like a turnoff to some people, but like is this an ugly face? I don't think this is an ugly face. Like I feel like I feel like if I saw this person, I'll be like, oh, that's a cute girl. I don't know. In fact, like her wearing a little what is it, a woman abuser? What is it? The wife beater. I bet that's actually kind of hot. Also, isn't it? I don't know. Jesus, I feel like people are just like brain broken when it comes to women. Like I genuinely believe if I feel like if the Alien movies came out today, people would be calling them woke girl boss movies. I feel like they would, wouldn't they? Like wouldn't they? Like I also thought this when like Star Wars Outlaws came out. I was like, I feel like Star Wars Outlaws is pretty clearly the character is being modeled off of Ripley and Alien. Like if Alien came out, people would be accusing God of having a woke DEI agenda. That would be like accusing God of being a woke game developer that gave Sigourney Weaver a DEI chin. But I guess that's like the most interesting thing to all of this is like I feel like people's brains are just broken. Like I don't know, man. Like I think MJ is definitely like kind of an ugly character, but then like most of the other examples that people bring up, I don't even really even see what they're talking about. Just like I don't know. By the way, can I just say this as well? It really does feel like female game characters. It feels like they're judged on a way harsher scale. Like I know people were like saw this scene where
A new lead. He's not worth it.
where the character is like sipping this like can of soda, waiting for the lady that she's talking to give her the answer that she wants, and it's like I saw people look at this scene and people are like, this character is a fucking bitch. She's an unlikable whore. And it's like, oh my God, like what Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Like, can we calm down? Like this is just like I'm not like this is a cute little scene. Like if you don't think it's funny, that's fine. Like I don't, but like holy shit, the way that people treat female characters is like I don't know. I feel like if I was like a writer that was like trying to write a female character in 2025, I would fucking kill myself. Oh my god. It's like people calling her like a woke girl boss. It's like, oh, she's too confident. When it's like at the end of the trailer, it's like they clearly show that it's also like a front, like it's a facade. Like she's going like, yeah, I can go into this planet. I'm not gonna have any trouble.
I'll see you on the other side.
In order to convince this lady to give her the bounty or whatever. But like right afterwards, it shows that that's like all a facade, and that she's actually very nervous about going on her adventure on this planet. Like, it's like at every turn, it just feels like people's brains are just completely broken. It feels like media literacy is at an all-time low. And apparently I can't use the word media literacy anymore. Oh no, I guess that's bad. Like, shut up. I'll use words however I want to use them. It's just like, oh my god, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just wish people were more level-headed about this kind of thing. By the way, like, if you don't like this trailer, that's fine, right? If you're not interested in this trailer or in the game, that's perfectly reasonable. I just find the complete hyperbole around it to just be, and around this conversation in general, to just be kind of retarded. All right, let's keep going with this video here.
That's pretty insulting. No, most women do not look like this when they take their makeup off. I'm sorry. Now, the thing that people have noticed about Mary Jane in particular is that her model, first of all, looks like the one in the first game, looks completely different than she does in the game. And this has happened with a lot of these characters. But they've noted that maybe Mary Jane looks a lot like the woman who wrote the game. What is going on there? Some people think that she might have been self-inserting herself. I don't know what say she would have on that, or if there's been evidence for that. I guess what I've had in my head over this is that some people were maybe trying to be nice to this, trying to do something for this writer, and we're like...
That's also the other thing that I feel like, it's like what? Since when? Since when has the expectation been that the... Oh, sorry. You know what? In her defense, I think she said face model. The person that they're... Okay, that's a different conversation. Sorry. But, she's not making this argument necessarily, but people have been like... I know, for example, in like the Star Wars Outlaws situation, have been saying that like, oh, they butchered the voice actress. And it's just like, since when has the expectation been that the character is going to look like the voice actor? Like, sometimes they do that, and sometimes they don't. Like, I don't... Like, that's always such a weird complaint as well.
hey, we're going to make Mary Jane Watson look like you. If that's what happened, that's very cool, because I don't think that this lady is unattractive, but I do think that she looks like a woman who works behind the camera on video games, you know, doesn't put much effort into her appearance, just wears clothes that she thinks is comfortable because she's behind the camera, and that's fine. But the problem is that person, a video game writer, is not Mary Jane Watson, and so you can't make her design the same, and this is actually a really cruel thing to do. Like,
yeah, it is weird. I don't know. I think there might be some truth behind that, although, to be fair, I don't know if there's been any evidence that's come out regarding that, so I don't know. I'm not gonna take that too seriously or like start harassing anybody over it.
Imagine taking a person and being like, hey, we're gonna put you as this character who we already based priorly off of a person who works as a professional model, so you constantly get compared to that person. I know this is a ramble, but there's a couple things that bother me about this and that I just couldn't stop being bothered about. First of all, the uglification of these female characters. This, once again, this is just what women look like in real life. Mary Jane Watson, that design in the first game is what a woman would look like in real life. These other designs are intentionally unflattering and uglified, and their whole idea is that, oh, this is just anti-porn, right? Or this is anti-sexism. We don't want people to objectify these female characters. That's not what actually is going on here. First of all, if you're gonna put on this...
Again, that's just like stupid because it's like Black Cat is in the game. It's just like, it's like, I don't know, it feels like the people that talk about this are just like, and to be fair, I think she's giving a much more level-headed response than most other people, but it's like Black Cat is in the game. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, obviously Insomniac doesn't have some like anti-sexy bias or whatever. I don't know, and then it's just like with a lot of the other examples, like Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's like, what? Like, what, this character's ugly? Is she? I think I have to look up specifically Horizon Forbidden West. Like, is this character ugly? I don't... Like, what the fuck are you people talking about? Like, I feel like is this an actual... That's also the thing. I don't even know which of these pictures are, like, real or, like, fan-edited. I don't even know. But even if this was real, it's like, I feel like there are other flattering pictures that you could take into account. And again, like, as somebody that's played this game in motion, I never once thought that Aloy was an ugly character. I've never once thought that.
Facade that you are anti-sexist. I want to point out, isn't it cruel to intentionally uglify female characters? Like, I know that I'm gonna get in trouble for talking about this, but what do you want me to do? Am I supposed to clap?
Oh my god, can people stop also with this like whole argument of like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble with talking about this. Oh, people are gonna get mad if they talk about this. Like, yeah, what, dude? You're on YouTube. Like, who cares? Like, stop trying to pretend to be a victim that's being silenced. Like, yes, everybody's talking about these topics. Like, it's not you're not being brave right now.
You're intentionally uglifying my entire gender because of some sort of weird hang-up that you have about men even finding women attractive at all.
What do you mean?
Which, once
What
again,
do you mean your entire gender? Again, can I just actually, yeah, like why do none of these people ever bring up Black Cat, who's in the game, who's completely and totally sexualized? Why do these people? God, I wish people were more honest about the situation as well. I don't know. Ugh, God. Ugh. Like, yeah, just to be clear, Black Cat, Spider-Man 2. Like, she's in the game. Like, this character is in the game. Like, what are we? Like, what? Again, like, it just completely, it completely, it completely demolishes the ugly agenda claims, right? Does it, like, obviously, like, yes, Mary Jane is still, like, a pretty ugly design, but, like, the idea that Insomniac is trying to push some ugly agenda, like, if that was the case, then Black Cat would be made ugly as well. But it's just, like, that's obviously not the case.
As I was saying, most men would probably find, like, okay, maybe I've just been lucky, but most men I've met in real life, they don't even care about, like, makeup and clothes, and they're not so hung up on looks so much like women are. Women just like pretty things. They like to look pretty. They like to look pretty to each other. Men aren't as hung up on that. Like, women look like without their makeup, unless a man is corn addicted, you would probably find that attractive. What I'm getting at here is you have to put a genuine effort to uglify these characters to make sure that they're unattractive to men, because that's the whole argument, is we shouldn't have these characters be objectified to men or even attractive. And I'm like, isn't that cruel? Like, intentionally uglifying these female characters?
I think that's actually an interesting point, and I do think that for most of the examples that get brought up, I think there probably has to be some kind of corn addiction going on, because I feel like if the Fable lady, like, if that character design showed up in real life, I think most people would look at that and say that's a cute girl. I think, like, actually the Intergalactic is like a really interesting example, because you can't even use the example that they're butchering the voice actress, because they modeled her directly after Tati Gabrielle, who's like a famous actress. She just looks like how she looks like in real life. Now listen, if you wanna get mad at, if I don't know, if bald or like really short hair is like a turnoff to you, that's fine. But she's modeled pretty directly after the actress, so you can't even use that example here. Like, I don't know, I think that even in the video game, I think that the face is attractive. Like, I don't think that they uglified her. Again, if you don't really go for the whole Avatar Aang situation, that's reasonable. But I don't think you can say that they uglified her.
How do the models that they get to shape these characters after, how do they feel putting all the effort into getting the right headshots and looking their best in their careers, and then this is what their likeness is turned into in this game? Isn't that cruel? That's the flip side of it. Also, I just want to point out that there's nothing wrong with men finding female characters attractive. Like, there's a difference between objectifying and sexualizing and just finding a character attractive. Like, anyone can. Women can find men attractive, whatever, vice versa. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's normal. It's what nature says to do. That's what's supposed to be. Because of this thing I read in a book once called reproduction, something like that. Like, that's just normal. And here's the thing about it, is that, once again, we're just using Mary Jane as sort of the example in this video. In the first game, she wasn't sexualized at all, and she just looked normal, a normal, attractive female character in a game. But so we had solved the problem there with any sort of objectification or anything. But now you're going all the way the other way and making it out so now it's wrong to find a female character attractive at all, and you're making them all uglified like this. And what that's doing is, before, if somebody was to criticize.
Yeah, again, and maybe in her defense, I think she said that she didn't finish the game, but it's just like her argument completely falls flat when Black Cat is also in the game. Like, what do you... Like, this argument completely falls flat. Like, it's not some agenda to make all female characters unattractive.
That this design for Mary Jane as being unattractive and just ugly, they would be laughed off the face of the planet. They would be, because they would be seen for what they are, that you just want the unrealistic, exaggerated thing that porn gives you. But now that this sort of redesign is something that most people can agree looks kind of odd, it's actually opening the doors for the people who just want porn to be able to push this stuff and be like, oh, we miss the good old days with this. And if you criticize them, they're like, what? We just want to see attractive female characters. What are you talking about? And it's actually going to enable those people even more, because guess what? Once again, it's abnormal. It's abnormal to have a problem with female characters looking like female characters. And as everyone pushes back against this or just thinks that it's weird, it's going to make those other people get some food. But here's the thing. These unattractive female characters, they're on the way out. I know you're seeing a lot of them come out these days. That's because video games take a long time to make. At the time that these would have been greenlit, it would have been a very different era. And now we're changing that era, but now the games are just now coming out because they take so long to make. This isn't going to matter. And all the old games are probably just going to create mods to change their designs or something. So why does this bother me so much? Why does it bother me? Well, because when I play the game, it's like Mary Jane doesn't look like Mary Jane. And you wonder, why was that change? And you know that it was because there was some weirdo behind the scenes who had a hang-up that had a problem with this original design. And I can't really escape into the game as much as I would want to, because I'm constantly reminded of the weird people behind the scenes that felt the need to even make this decision. I don't know what you possibly expected to achieve. The only thing you're going to achieve, if anything, is just a pushback too far in the other way, where no one takes anyone who has criticism seriously, because they're all associated with you. People like you who are weird and unnormal and have hang-ups on things that are natural that nobody else has a hang-up on. That's all I got for you guys today, except for I do want to talk for a minute about Spider-Man 2, Insomniac. I'm just not enjoying it like I did the first one. I think this is the big problem, because there's just so much filler in the game. It's like the first game had such a good story, and I couldn't wait to get on and see what would happen next, and I would always expect to get on the game and get somewhere else. This game, it's like I want to see what's happening next in the story, and I'll have to have an extended amount of time where I'm riding a bike or going to Peter's old school or walking through a lab, or I'll just become invested.
I actually like those segments, because those are actual story segments, like seeing Peter and Harry's old although, yeah, I guess specifically the bike riding segment might have went on too long. I'm actually remembering.
In someone's story, and I'll have to switch to another character. So it's just not very immersive. I'm just not enjoying it as much. But these are just my thoughts on this. This is my little rant. What do you think of this rant? Are you mad at me? Tell me in the comments below.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in general, like, when it happens, I agree that Mary Jane is uglier than she was in the first game, and I think she's ugly in general. I can agree with that. And I think it's weird. I don't know. Like, I don't know why you would change again, I don't even care that she's ugly, to be clear, but it's like, why would you change the design from the first game? Why would you change Peter's design from the first game? It's just weird. In the words of Rachel Zegler, it's weird. Weird. It's just like, why? Like, stop. Why am I dealing with recastings in a video game? But I don't see this, like, mass ugly agenda throughout all games, when it's just like the vast majority of the time that I see people bring this up. Like, again, I played Star Wars Outlaws. The character isn't ugly. Most of the pictures that you see about Star Wars Outlaws are like specific frames. There's a reason why it's always the same picture that goes around, by the way. It's like a specific frame where the game is like glitching, or I'm like pretty convinced that most people are like purposefully turning down the graphic settings. I think that might be a thing as well, by the way. But, well, also, to be fair, Star Wars Outlaws is kind of another example, or an example of when, like, I think the game came out on consoles buggy. To be perfectly fair to people, I did play it on, like, Amazon Luna with the Ubisoft Plus subscription. So I streamed it, and I effectively played it on, like, a big beefy gaming PC. That's the experience that you get when you stream games. So maybe that's also an element, but as the way that I experienced it, the way that it was probably most intended to be played, she was not ugly. I don't think that the Fable character is ugly. I don't think that the Intergalactic character is ugly. Sure, they're not as overly sexualized as Eve from Stellar Blade, but, like, I think that's okay. I'm fine with some games being overly sexualized, and then I'm fine with other games not being overly sexualized. I also don't think that every game needs to be the exact same, and I think it's fine if you want to look at the gaming market and go, like, there aren't enough games like Stellar Blade. I think there should be more games like that. But I just think people are, like, really weird and unreasonable when they start attacking other games that aren't like that, and attacking them for unreasonable things, when I don't think that they're even doing the things that you're claiming they are. So, I don't know. That's just my perspective. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I don't think this was a terrible video. I think she's probably pretty reasonable in some of what she's saying, but I mean, I think that her whole argument, I think that her whole thesis here probably would have not, or it would have, she would have had a completely different thesis if she'd gotten to the Black Cat portions, because it just completely destroys the argument. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.